Change is always happening, but no matter what changes in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same: the price of your internet. With the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi, with our best equipment included, for a price that stays exactly the same. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
You are listening to Women's Running Stories, where exceptional women runners share inspirational stories about their running experiences. And in this episode, you'll hear the story about one young woman who is a runner, and she also does parkour. Hers is a journey about how truly powerful sports can be for a woman.
To be honest, sport means a lot to me. It's a way to be healthy mentally and physically, and sport is my freedom. Although I'm living in exile in a different country as a refugee, I have my freedom. Still, I can run, I can play sport, play parkour, a way to healing. I can use it to have my symbol of empowerment. Like, I can show like I am powerful, I can have my freedom, and I can have my identity, I can have my, I love when I'm doing sport, it gives me a feeling of flying as a bird. Like, when birds fly, when I'm jumping, like in parkour, when I jump from one step to another step, so I'm in between, I'm in the sky, like as a bird. So I'm flying, like I feel like I'm in the sky, and like I have my own responsibility, that I can have my own freedom. But in Afghanistan, as a girl, you cannot do that. So I use my spirit as not just a symbol, but a very reason to healing, to empowerment, to my identity, freedom, and fight for my rights. I am Marwa Ali from Afghanistan. I live in Paris in France, and I have been an athlete for a long time. So just as an Afghan refugee girl, I'm so happy to share my story.
Yes, this episode features Marwa Ali, who is from Kabul, Afghanistan, and now she lives in exile as a refugee in Paris, France. How and why she left her home country and the part running and sports has played in that journey is what this episode is all about. But before you hear more from Mara, I want to welcome you to Women's Running Stories. I am Cherie Louise Turner. I am the host and producer of this podcast. Thank you for being here. Now on to Mara's story. Marwa Ali, who is now 24 years old, has been an athlete since childhood. She grew up in Afghanistan during a time when the rights and freedoms of women and girls had been improving. That all changed, however, when the Taliban returned to power in 2021. They quickly and harshly stripped women and girls of all autonomy or the ability to move freely outside the home. And Mara will get to all of that in her story. But to start, we're going back to when Mara first discovered the joy and power of being an athlete. So yes, let's get to it. Here to tell her story is Marwa Ali.
It was 2008. I was 8 years old, yeah. Then that I joined a juggling center. I started to do circus. it was so good for me. Like I was there for 4 years as a student. I practiced, I trained, and then after 4 years, I worked as a trainer. Though like it was my young age, so I had like I think 12 years old. I worked as a trainer of juggling for other girls in Afghanistan, and then it started my journey as an athlete. It started with juggling, and then I became the player of volleyball, and like I played basketball, and I played the parkour. So I played football, and then I really love parkour and running. These are the two sports that I'm doing now. So my journey as athlete like started from a young age, and it gives me proud and good feelings. And it was like a very good journey, like that start my life in society. I get engaged with other girls. I get engaged with sport and education, and like I had my to develop my personal self confidence.
Mara's start in the circus did lead her to becoming an instructor for the younger children by the time she was 12. And it opened up many other opportunities for her. While performing with the circus, she traveled throughout Afghanistan, sharing her culture and learning about other cultures in the country. And throughout, she gained tremendous self-confidence, and her interests and influence extended beyond her involvement in the circus. Mara became a role model to other young people. She made media appearances, and she also became an advocate and leader, speaking on behalf of Afghan youth to government officials in Afghanistan and beyond. Marwa Ali found her voice, and she used it. This would eventually make her a target for the Taliban when they returned to power in 2021. By then, Mara had already discovered her love of parkour and running.
Yeah, in 2019, I started parkour and running. In the past, before the Taliban, it was easy. Like for the girls we were improving. We were in the 20 years before the Taliban. It was the time. It was the period of all the young generation had motivation, studying and working and improving. And like we had colorful clothes, like in the streets. But in 2021, when the government of Afghanistan collapsed for the Taliban, so I was at home for 6 months. I was locked. I couldn't move out because I had many activities that I did with the government and then the politics. So I had to escape the country in 2022. Fortunately I got visa and I went to Pakistan, and I was there for 2 years from 2022 until 2024. I was still locked at home, the same like Afghanistan. Like in Afghanistan, I was locked, and in the same like the same I was in Pakistan. But still, sometimes I like motivated myself to Marwa, go and run, go and run. You have to continue your running. At least if you cannot do other sports, you are strong. You have to continue. You have to be strong. You cannot stop here. You know that time was a very difficult moment for me. Like so tough. I didn't have any clear future. No country responding to me. I was so hopeless. Like okay, most of the time I was like depressed, and a long time that my time just wasted for nothing, and I couldn't continue my education neither. Like I didn't have access to anything, not just me, millions of Afghan girls in Iran, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan. Not a sport, not no education, not worked. Even we couldn't work, so we didn't have opportunity to work or even play sport. Whenever as a girl, as an Afghan girl refugee, if you run in the streets of Pakistan or Iran, the police come and just take you and deport you. So it's one of the most difficult part of as being as an Afghan girl in the country or outside of the country. There's no freedom. But I did exercise inside. I was like, okay, Mara, if you're like locked at the house, it doesn't mean like you should stop here. Like though it was so difficult, like I was saying, okay, it's I always say like the houses it's just prison, just the names are different. It's prison. I'm locked at home, I cannot do anything, but still I was using my small things that I had, and I played exercises and workouts at home in Afghanistan, in Pakistan. And then sometime early in the morning or late in the evening, I went for running, because that time there were no polices. It was the time so difficult for me, so I couldn't do most of the time, but still I could do like some time to just keep myself just alive. It was just so difficult. But for me, running is not just a sport. It means a lot for me. I'm running not just for my heart, just like it means like to shout, to yell for my right. When I run, when I play sport, when I do parkour, I fight for my health, for other Afghan girls' health. I become healthy, and I work and I do projects for them, for Afghan girls. So I'm fighting through running, through sport, and like helping myself emotionally, physically, like to help myself and Afghan girls in this difficult situation.
Eventually, Mara was able to move from Pakistan, where she had still faced huge barriers as a woman and a refugee, unable to safely or freely leave the confines of where she was living. From Pakistan, she relocated to France. And while she has a lot more freedom there, she is facing this entire journey all alone.
I went all this journey without any family. I was all alone in a different country, with in a different culture, different language. It was so difficult. Sometimes like living alone, just you need someone, or people, or family, or your culture, you were life. I miss my life. I live behind all of my family, my sister, my brothers, my mother. My father died when I was 8 years old, and my grandparents as well. So I had my mother, who worked a lot for us, who bring food to us all the time. Although she was educated person, like she was so intelligent, but she couldn't find a job before the government. It was so difficult, and after the government changed, all the jobs banned, and it was so difficult for us. But my family, just I couldn't take my family. I left behind everything. I came to here without anything, just empty hands.
Without family, with no substantial resources of her own, and living in exile under refugee status, life has been very challenging for Mara. Sports, specifically running and parkour, however, have been a source of ongoing empowerment, purpose, inspiration, and support. And they have been a way to build and strengthen community, both in France and beyond. In particular, Mara has been very involved with the organization Afghan Parkour Society, or APS, since before she left Afghanistan, through her time in Pakistan, and up until today in France.
Since I started my journey with APS, Afghan Parkour Society, I had programs for Afghan girls refugee in Pakistan. We had hiking, we had parkour, we had project management, we had self-defense, like we had different kind of programs. So with my team, I did the projects for Afghan girls, and I met Afghan girls who were so motivated in Pakistan, in Islamabad, and they were always asking for new programs, for new opportunities. They were so motivated, but the difficult part is that didn't have opportunity, and I still working with them. They are we made a female committee of EPS that we became refugee in different countries in US, and we have I'm in France, so we are still working online. That we had recently a online program. It was parkour and nonviolent communication, though some people say like it is impossible to do parkour at home, and how it's online, it's difficult. But we had the programs and trainers from France and working online for Afghan girls who were in Afghanistan, and they were joining online, and they were using very small things that they had in Afghanistan in their houses, and they were jumping from them, and they were learning, and they had motivation. And I met these young girls in Afghanistan in this moment, like in this difficult time under the government of the Taliban. And I met them online, and I see like how they were working with their very basic things. We have a small ironic boxes in Afghanistan, very small things, like we put our clothes on it, and they were the Afghan girls, students, they were using that and jumping from that. And I was watching them like, oh my god, I become so motivated, like, Marwa, you have many opportunities here, you have to use them. Like, I loved their motivation, I loved their goals, the way that they are keeping their self still, and like their resilience, and their all their problems still they are working hard. And you know so after the EPs that we are still working with the EPs, other projects for Afghan girls. Also, I'm doing parkour with a team in Paris. So I meet these young French girl that I learn from their culture, and I teach Dari for them, and it's so good. I loved their support. They're saying, Marwa, you came from a very strong and like very good background, so they learn from me and I learn from them. And I that's the way that sport led us to meet new people and engage in new communities. And it did for me, and like it helped me a lot. The sport just it doesn't mean for me as a sport as a part of being healthy. It means a lot for me. It helped me to get engaged in the society and social activities and people from different backgrounds, cultures, and learn from different experiences.
Being involved in running and parkour has opened the door to building a new life in France, especially now that Mara has been able to move to Paris.
Since I came to France in the last year, for 6 months of the first year that I came to here, I was in a village. I was not in Paris. So it was the government that sent me there. And it was not easy because as a young girl, like I had so motivation to do many things for the study, but there was nothing. So fortunately, I came to Paris, and now as an athlete, I can do whatever I want in Paris. There are many activities, and people support me. My community of my friend, they are always supporting me and like appreciating me that, okay, Mara, you're strong and one of the girls that can raise your voice for Afghan girls who are in Afghanistan that cannot. And I'm doing my running, not just my parkour, not just for sport, but they are helping me to fight for Afghans who cannot sport. So this is also a symbol of resilience for me, that I can show for the world that I am running as an Afghan girl that came from a difficult situation, from a war zone.
From war zone to Paris, Mara continues her work as a leader, fighting for the rights of herself and other Afghan girls and women. And she continues as a role model. Mara's next big athletic challenge is to run the Ring of Fire Ultra Trail Run in the UK. She had been invited to run this year, 2025, but she was unable to get the travel documents needed to leave France. She's working toward getting those travel papers so she can participate in this event next year. When she does run the Ring of Fire, she'll be the first Afghan woman to participate in this event with the full support of the Ring of Fire organizers behind her.
They invited me, so I will join them. I'm so excited for that. Yeah, I will join them. It's their organization. I have met them through EPS, Afghan Parkour Society, the team that I'm working with them. They are supporting our programs, and they were sponsoring our programs that we did in Pakistan and Afghanistan as well. In Pakistan for hiking for Afghan refugees, and we had parkour in both countries, and online classes we had. So they were sponsoring us, and they invited me to join there. And then they said okay, Marwa, we are so happy. We want you to join our running programs. What do you think? And I said, why not? I would love to do. And they were helping me to organize all these things, but unfortunately I couldn't do this year, but hopefully maybe next year I will join them.
Since she was very young, Mara has utilized sports to be about much more than the activities themselves. So when she does participate in this running event, it'll be about a lot more than getting from start to finish.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to join this marathon. So where I'm looking to be one of the girls who be the voice of Afghan girls in this program, to raise my voice through my sport, through my running, through my journey. It's not just a symbol of sport and a symbol of my as a person who play a sport as an athlete. I want to do it as a symbol of peace, symbol of unity, symbol of resilience of Afghan girls, to have my voice in this program as well, and to achieve the achievements for Afghan girls, because they deserve. And in this difficult time, if they cannot run, I can run for them.
In this difficult time, if they cannot run, I can run for them. Wow. Thank you so much, Mara, for coming on the podcast and sharing this really powerful story. I wish you all the best in everything that is to come. And that does bring us to the end of Marwa Ali's story on the podcast. Please look to the show notes. I will provide links to how you can keep up with the organizations that Mara is involved with. And that does bring us to the end of this episode. I am Cherie Louise Turner. I'm the host and producer of Women's Running Stories. Thank you so much for being here. And until next Tuesday, I do wish you healthy, joyful, resilient strides forward.
Women's running. Women's running stories.
Doug. Limu and I always tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. But now, we want you to feel it. Cue the emu music, Limu.
Save yourself money today. Increase your wealth. Customize and save, we say.
That may have been too much feeling.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac extra value meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.